Ladies and gentlemen of the press, thank you very much. Today we have leaders from the state of Tennessee, their federal delegation, as well as folks from ICE, also local leaders here in Nashville. And you will be hearing from somebody who's a victim of the illegal alien invasion that Joe Biden let in. Just to start, all of these folks are going to give a couple statements. At the end, we will have about a 10-minute Q&A. After that, the press conference will end. With that, I'd like to introduce Congressman Andy Ogles of Tennessee's 5th District. Thank you.
Well, thank y'all. What I'd like to do is I'm going to run through some data points to give everybody background as to why this is so significant. You know, under the last administration and previous administrations as well, we've seen a flood of illegals come into this country. It's important to note that if you come into this country illegally, your very first act is illegal. If you're working without a Social Security number, that is also a crime. If you're working with an illegally or falsely obtained Social Security number, that is a crime. So we've got to get serious about this. And I understand that for some this is a touchy subject. But I was just in El Salvador. I just went to the prison where we are sending our MS-13 in Trinidad, and I can tell you, these are not good folks. One of the individuals that I spoke with who had been in the United States, he joined the gangs when he was 13 years old, had killed 50 people. So the question was asked, why are you here? He said, homicide. Then the follow-up is, well, how many people have you killed? 50. And his body's tatted up, and he showed us his tattoos as to marking all of the individuals that he had killed. But when you look at Middle Tennessee, in one weekend, ICE and THB caught 196 individuals identified as removable aliens, some of which a 37-year-old Venezuelan national affiliated with Trinidad, 39-year-old Mexican national with 6 prior removals for convictions in domestic assault and sex with a minor, a 6-year-old Iraqi national convicted for rape. So when a mayor stands up and is defending those types of individuals over our hard-working law enforcement, Homeland Security, ICE, THP, the Sheriff's Department in the city, he's choosing criminals over Tennesseans. In February, 8 Venezuelan nationals with ties to Trinidad gang were charged with operating a commercial sex trafficking enterprise in Nashville through July 22nd and March 24. Just 3 days ago, 3 Chilean nationals were arrested in Tennessee with ties to a foreign burglary ring, and they've been conducting robberies, systematic robberies in Brentwood. One of those victims is here today. In April 2025, an illegal alien killed his wife as she arrived for a job as a custodian at Chadwell Elementary School. Last year, 18 MS-13 gang members and associates in Nashville for crimes including 10 murders, 7 attempted murders, and kidnapping. Sentences totaled 2 life terms and over 730 years in federal prison. So again, the mayor of Nashville is defending those types of criminals over Nashvillians, over Tennesseans. And I will always choose my country, my community, my state over illegals. And if that offends you, the door's over there. We are a land of laws. This is Memorial Day, where we honor those who have gone before us, who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our Constitution, for our country, and the rule of law. And this past administration flagrantly allowed our country to be invaded in violation of those laws. And I, for one, am committed to cleaning it up, to defending our communities, and to standing with our law enforcement. They put their lives in harm's way. And when you have this type of reckless rhetoric from a city mayor, from anywhere in the country, but especially here in Nashville, you're putting their lives in harm's way. When you have a state representative who on her own Instagram agreed or confessed to delaying 4 ICE vehicles, you're putting those agents in harm's way. And we've seen a 400% increase attacks against law enforcement because of this type of rhetoric. The list goes on. In March, a 36-year-old twice deported Mexican man shot and killed his neighbor in front of his 7-year-old daughter in Antioch. In March, another Mexican illegal sold undercover cops cocaine in a restaurant bathroom. In Williamson County, also in March, a 20-year-old Honduras citizen and illegal was illegally possessing a machine gun with the intent to distribute methamphetamines. In January, 28-year-old Venezuelan citizen, criminal history includes invading police, and he was involved in a sex trafficking ring. The list goes on and on and on. And I have case after case after case of these are the folks that ICE and Homeland and your local law enforcement are targeting. And I find it offensive that a city mayor would politicize the role of Metro Police Department, requiring them to snitch on federal agents. That a city mayor would encourage citizens to file complaints to the Community Oversight Board if a member of local law enforcement is simply doing their job. I'll pause there. I'll turn it over to Senator Jack Johnson from Williamson County, part of the 5th District, but also from an area of many of these crimes, like the robberies in Brentwood. Jack.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Congressman, and thank you all for being here. In January of this year, Governor Bill Lee called for a special session of the Tennessee General Assembly in order to focus exclusively on a couple of important time-sensitive matters. One of those initiatives involved making sure Tennessee was fully prepared to cooperate with President Trump as he fulfilled one of his top campaign priorities, and doing so right here in our state, and that was getting violent illegal aliens out of our communities. I was honored to sponsor legislation during that special session of the General Assembly on behalf of Governor Lee to create the Central Office of Immigration Enforcement within our Department of Safety and Homeland Security. This new department is tasked with making sure our law enforcement agencies at all levels and all across the state are equipped and trained to partner with Immigration and Customs Enforcement as they apprehend and deport criminals who are in our country unlawfully. This legislation further specifically, I want to express my gratitude for the work you're doing and will continue to do right here in Tennessee. I'm proud that our legislation is already making a difference. I want to thank Director Acuna and Director Adams for taking time from your busy schedules to be here today. Please know that you have the support of the overwhelming majority of Tennesseans. My colleagues and I stand ready and willing to do whatever is necessary to strengthen our partnership in the weeks and months ahead. Congressman Ogles, thank you for putting this event together today. It is altogether appropriate that we, on this day of solemn remembrance for those who have paid the ultimate price for our freedom, that we pledge to do everything we can here in Tennessee and in the United States of America to protect the sovereignty of our borders and our country from illegal invasion. At this time, I would like to read a statement from our senior United States Senator, Marsha Blackburn. Senator Blackburn has been a steadfast supporter of you and your efforts, and we're extremely grateful for her leadership in Washington. Senator Blackburn wanted to be with us here today. Unfortunately, she was unable to make it. This is the statement from Senator Blackburn. For 4 years, the Biden administration unleashed chaos on our communities across the United States, including right here in Tennessee, by inviting the largest flood of illegal immigration in our nation's history. The consequences have been deadly. Last year, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico killed a Nashville restaurant owner in a hit-and-run accident after attempting to steal tools out of his truck. 2 months before, an illegal alien was charged with sexual battery after he followed a woman into the bathroom of an ice cream shop in the Gulch and groped her. Now, under President Trump, ICE has been empowered to do their jobs, taking criminal illegal aliens off our streets. With the help of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, ICE has arrested illegal aliens in Nashville who have been convicted of unimaginable crimes, making our communities safer with every arrest. Meanwhile, Democrats in Nashville and across the country are demonizing law enforcement officers who are risking their lives to protect Tennesseans. Mayor Freddie O'Connell even said ICE's detainment of violent gang members and rapists is making it harder to keep people safe. He couldn't be more out of touch. While Democrats like Mayor O'Connell continue to side with criminal illegal aliens instead of those they were elected to serve, Republicans are doing everything possible to uphold the rule of law and make America safe again. And that concludes the prepared statement I was honored to deliver on behalf of Senator Marsha Blackburn. At this time, I am honored to introduce my friend and colleague, General Assembly colleague from Williamson County, from the 61st House District, Representative Gino Bulso.
Thank you, Leader Johnson. I'd like to use my time to expand on Congressman Ogles' comment that part of what we're doing here today is defending the rule of law. Our second president, John Adams, famously said that fear is the foundation of most governments, but it is not that way with us. Courage is the foundation of our government. And you see that no more clearly than in the last 8 words of our Declaration of Independence, where the 56 patriots who signed that document pledged our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And then one Virginian, whom you all know well, famously said, "I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." And we gather together here today to remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, who have actually incurred the burden of death so that we may have liberty, not just from our Revolutionary War, but the War of 1812, the Mexican War, the Great Civil War, and the wars of the 20th century. We're here today to remember them and to renew our commitment that we will continue to defend liberty and defend the rule of law even unto death. So it is with great thanks that we recognize Director Acuna and Director Adams for the work they and their colleagues at ICE are doing to keep our community safe and to continue to uphold the rule of law. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague from Williamson County. He represents the 65th House District for the state of Tennessee, Representative Lee Reeves.
Thank you for that. Before I begin, let me just say, on this Memorial Day, we remember and honor those who gave their lives for this country. Thank you, Congressman Ogles, for bringing us together. You've been one of the strongest voices in Washington defending our borders and standing with law enforcement, and Tennessee is better for it. Senator Jack Johnson, thank you for your leadership in the state Senate and for never wavering when it comes to law and order. I want to speak directly to the people of Middle Tennessee because this issue is not theoretical, and it's not just about the southern border. It's about what's happening in our own backyard. What happens in Nashville doesn't stay in Nashville. It spills into Brentwood and Thompson Station and Franklin and Fairview and all of our surrounding communities. When a city declares itself a sanctuary or acts like one, when it refuses to cooperate with ICE, when it shelters those who have broken our laws, that decision doesn't stay contained. It endangers everyone nearby, and we're seeing the consequences of that. The strain on local law enforcement, the pressure on our schools and our hospitals, more gang activity, more drugs, more danger. That's not just bad policy, it's a betrayal of the public trust. That's why Senator Johnson and I passed a bill this year to stop recognition of out-of-state illegal driver's licenses issued to illegal immigrants. Tennessee will not be a safe haven to lawlessness rubber-stamped by California or New York. If you're here illegally, you shouldn't be behind the wheel with a government-issued license. I also want to thank Senator Marsha Blackburn for her fight in the U.S. Senate. She's consistently exposed the failures of sanctuary cities and stood up for ICE. And of course, I want to thank President Donald J. Trump, not once, but twice, because he had the border under control before the left unraveled it. Now, in his second term, he's restoring law and order from Washington while we try to hold the line here in Tennessee. But we need more than strong words. We need local action as well. So to every police chief, every sheriff, every mayor, every county commissioner, now is the time to enter into a 287G agreement with ICE. It's a simple partnership that lets local law officers identify and detain criminal illegal aliens. It's legal, it works, and it will save lives. This isn't about politics. It's about protecting our families. It's not about immigration, it's about crime. And it's not just a border crisis, it is a community crisis. So I'll close by saying this again. What happens in Nashville doesn't stay in Nashville. And in Tennessee, we must not wait for the next tragedy for us to act. Now I have the honor of introducing someone who's been a strong and steady voice for our values in the Tennessee General Assembly, my friend and colleague, Representative Kip Capley.
Thank you, Lee. Everyone, as many of the others standing here today have said, let's remember our veterans on this day. Let's remember their families. Let's think about them and keep them in prayer as we go forward. But today I want to talk about a critical force that's keeping our nation secure, ICE. For too long, the importance of ICE's mission has been overlooked and unfairly criticized. But let's be very clear. ICE plays an indispensable role in protecting our borders, upholding our laws, and ensuring the safety of our communities. And we owe a debt of gratitude to leaders like President Trump, like Congressman Ogles, for their unwavering commitment to supporting ICE and prioritizing the safety of the American people and Tennesseans. ICE's mission is multifaceted, but at its core, it's about enforcing our immigration laws and combating illegal activities that threaten our nation's security. From deporting dangerous criminals to disrupting human trafficking and drug smuggling, ICE agents put their lives on the line every day to keep our communities safe. And it is disgusting for me to stand here in my home state as a seventh-generation Tennessean and to see these individuals spit on. It's absolutely disgusting. In 2024, ICE removed over 270,000 illegal immigrants with criminal convictions, pending charges, thousands of which were involved in serious crimes like murder, drug trafficking, gang activities, and much more. These are not just numbers. These are not just facts. These are threats removed from our streets, removed from our cities, and we have, with the help of ICE, with the help of our local law enforcement officers, we are making a safer Tennessee. President Trump understood this from day one. During his administration, he's empowered ICE to do its job without an apology. He's reversed policies that have tied these agents' hands, that have allowed these dangerous criminals to run through our streets. We will not stand for it in the state of Tennessee. I want to thank again President Trump, Congressman Ogles, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Governor Bill Lee, Congressman Tim Burchett, and others. Thank you again. And now I will close with introducing my friend, Councilman David Benton.
Thank you. As we celebrate Memorial Day and honor those who gave everything, I'm embarrassed to say that we are failing them, making a mockery of this holiday. They give an oath to uphold the Constitution and defend it against enemies, foreign and domestic. And right now we have an illegal invasion and support within our own ranks. And just to clarify, I 100% support legal immigration. Most of us are here because of legal immigration. But illegal aliens are criminals. It's cruel for city officials to encourage illegal aliens to remain in the United States as if they can shield them in some false pretense against ICE enforcement. Upholding Title 8, 1324 is what we're mandated to do until that law changes. And that means no enabling. We may not aid, we may not abet, shield, or even encourage illegal aliens to remain in the United States. But I hear people even right now, give us Barabbas. Give us the criminal. Give us Barabbas. Forget about the innocent, the taxpayers, law-abiding citizens. Give us Barabbas. Matt Carney, as was earlier mentioned, was in his restaurant minding his business, literally, at Smoking Thighs. And his wife is now having to find ways to live without him. He suffered for 15 days after he was run over by an illegal immigrant. The sad thing about that is this guy was picked up already and should have been deported already. Twice deported illegal criminal, was indicted for shooting a man in front of his 7-year-old daughter. That is not a precursor for citizenship. That is a precursor for deportation. After over 400 calls for service, ICE raided the Miami Club. That's a lot of activity in that one spot in my district. And ICE came in, raided with the assistance of multiple federal agencies, and removed 3 individuals. One in particular was illegal and selling narcotics. We got to support the police and enforcement with personnel at the local level with the tools they need to fight criminal activity. Here's the kicker. While we have some leaders, if you can call them leaders, that will support the criminal element, the illegals, Nashville is a top 20 violent city for violent crimes based on FBI statistics. The mayor refusing to implement LPRs after expressing concerns over immigration enforcement. He wants to change the framework of the policy framework, the way we handle the data, that's already been approved by council. It's already signed into law by a previous mayor. It's time to choose. It's criminals or the innocent taxpayers. Are we calling for Barabbas to be released? Or are we going to stand up for the innocent people? Since the mayor has officially joined the city through the Belonging Fund to multiple nonprofits supporting immigrants, all immigrants, I'm asking for a state or federal audit of each one of these so that I, as a local legislator, can clarify whether any funds are inadvertently supporting and violating Title VIII U.S. Code 1324. Stop making a mockery of Memorial Day. Defend Nashville, defend Tennessee, defend this country, and stop the invasion. Now I'd like to introduce a medical colleague, Dr. Deborah Newitz.
Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Newitz. I'm a resident of Brentwood, Tennessee, where I live with my husband and 3 children. I want to thank Representative Ogles for the opportunity to tell my story. In January of this year, at approximately 6:30 in the evening, 4 men dressed in black, wearing face masks, crossed the fence in our property. They ran across our backyard up to the back of our home and smashed my bedroom window. They waited to see if an alarm was triggered or if anybody responded to the noise. After 9 minutes of relentlessly utilizing crowbars, as well as striking and kicking multiple doors and glass panels, they eventually gained access to our home. Just breaking in caused $15,000 in damages. All of this was caught on camera. Once inside, all 4 men tore through our closets, ripped a safe from the wall, and ultimately broke or cut their way into the safe. Among jewelry and cash, these men stole several family heirlooms and a box of inexpensive but irreplaceable Mother's Day gifts for my children made for me when they were young. Despite all the damages and losses, we were incredibly lucky. We were lucky because when these men violently smashed their way into our home, our 15-year-old daughter was in the house, alone upstairs in the bathtub. I can't even think about what might have happened if they had known she was there or if she had accidentally encountered them while they were still in our house. She was alone because my husband and I were at work. We learned that the men who broke into our home were a part of an extensive, organized, nationwide group of South American illegal immigrants. It is my understanding that police departments across the country and federal authorities have been coordinating their efforts to catch and stop